Alright, so I feel a little queasy. Um, going over, going over Drake's equation in my head and why this is important. Now, the Drake equation is a probabilistic argument used to estimate the number of active, communicative, extraterrestrial civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy, in the 88 fixed rotating constellations in our celestial sky. One of the layers. The equation was written in 1961 by Frank Drake, not for purpose of quantifying the number of civilizations, but as a way to simulate scientific dialogue at the first scientific meeting on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, S-E-T-I. But as a way to simulate scientific dialogue at the first scientific meeting on the SETI. Really? I nailed that equation, guy. The NE and the L pop up right away. I kind of go into like a lot about the L and stuff. I start to think I understand it better anyway. About the Roman numerals. Like, why is the 13 a 7? Roman numerals. 3 is just 111. You gotta bubble them. That's 6. And then you got your 1 bubbling it all. So 13 is really like a bubble of 6 bubbles. But it's like 3 inside of 3. Inside of 1. Whatever, right? The equation summarizes the main concepts which scientists must contemplate when considering the question of other radio communicative life. It is more properly thought of as an approximation rather than a serious attempt to determine a precise number. Criticism related to the Drake equation focuses not on the equation itself, but on the fact that the estimated values for several of its factors are highly conjectural, the combined effect being that the uncertainty associated with any derived value is so large that the equation cannot be used to draw firm conclusions. Well, the equation itself, to me, you can establish some firm conclusions on. With their, I don't know, what is their, they want to simulate scientific dialogue at the first scientific meeting on the search on SETI. Man, go watch my contact video. It's long. I know no one watched my other one because it's long and I talk and I drive math. But I use like 7 minutes of the Joe Rogan podcast in that 24 minutes. And then there's like the angry guy and Jack Nicholson and stuff. So there's probably like about 8 minutes, maybe, of not me talking. So I live in Ottawa. 666 land. Finding all these 666s. Look, all those 666 videos that I made actually were useful in this last derivation of Drake's equation. Now the Drake's equation, remember how I said DRAKE is 3858 but in bubbles? Remember that it goes DRAKE. So the 4 and an 18 is pretty easy how you get a circle 3 and a circle 8, but the last two, you have an A, K, E. So that 1 from the A to circle that 5 would actually circle that 11, and if those 11s are just bubbles, the other 1 counts as its bubble as well, let's say. So that could be more technically your circled 5 also circling an 8 if you close the 1s, because remember, they're 1 by somethings, but when they're closed from a different point of view, those are almost touching. 1 is a 0 from a different point of view. Anyway, no, I nailed that derivation. I've been nailing like everything lately. Did you notice how the 1 of 7 of 13 pattern was happening in the derivation of the Drake's equation of the 3858 equation? See how it's all synchronistically merging together? Why were those variables used? Why was that notation used? Normally in equations the dots aren't there. The dots are assumed. Like, why isn't it E equals m dot c squared? Anyone? So, it's interesting. What I've learned from it is that if you center on the 6 of Armageddon, you're making a big 1/3 V. And remember, we're going from a ring to a 1 to a V to an X to an L. And the Roman numerals are really kind of playing a part here, because if you look at the tips of the 1/3 V, on one path you have like a 14-5 before the 6, so that's like your NE. And then on the other tip alone, you have your L, and those are the last two unknowns in the equation. It's interesting that they're still this or this apart instead of that. They, you know. Did I learn anything? Yeah, I learned the gag of the Drake's equation. How it means the same thing as everything else. I feel a lot better talking about it, I guess. I was all pent up. Remember your flat earth? Your flat earth is just your 1 of 1 of 7 of 13 of 110 of 2143. It's just all the numbers needed to spell heaven and earth are those numbers. It's another gag, guy. That's why it's a flat earth. It's a linear way of describing the earth. Just like Drake's equation is a linear way of describing an equation, but I interpreted it as a cellular notation equation by taking the asterisk or the star, putting the dots at the end, and then putting the 6 other variables at the end in a clockwise manner, and then decoding it. It even says northeast in the northeast quadrant. So I started with north, because FP, because that's your 666. You have an F as a 6. You have a P, which is a 16, which is like a circled 6, or a 6 subset 6. So really, that's your 666. We got to start with that. And when you go down, you go to the first 6, or F variable, in between another F and an F. It's too synchronistic. I took a linear notation equation, turned it into a cellular notation equation, and then applied it to a two-dimensional matrix and broke it down. And it means 1 of 1 of 7 of 13. And on and on. Remember I told you this is just so the starting point on the reckoner is this 69. The circle is next to it. It circles the 69. Now, a circled 6 is a 7, but a circled 69, 9's cancel, guy. 6 and 9's 15, a 1 for the bubble, and a 1 and a 5 is again a 7. So, it's interesting that we started in this quadrant, and now we're going to here, to this 6, and we're expanding this way downward, and then this way we're expanding differently based on this equation, and it works. It works in the same pattern. It works in the same math. It time after time reestablishes the fact that the frame of reference that I'm using on my reckoner is correct when interpreting said equation. You gotta learn math, guy. You gotta learn the egg. You know, the V77? The V is Roman numeral for 5. 7 is G. It's right under the 1, 4, 5, 6, 0. It goes V77 in the middle. It's a 1/3 instead of a 1/5. The egg. A fertilized egg, hopefully. So, yeah, last couple of videos have been fun. I can't believe that worked. All of it. The name, the Ramanujan's number the other day with the whole 1 to 1 to 7 to 13 of 110, 21, 43 divisors, and then now the divisors of 666, and finding all of them, and finding the path, and then finding the 666 notation in the Drake's equation, and then doing the pentagram not too long ago, and how that's a 1 to 1 to 7 to 13, 110, 21, 43, just a 5-pointed star. Interesting. You might not find it interesting. 649, guy. When you add up the Eagle line, it comes to 649. That's the jackpot. Why does America have gas stations with a big 76 on top? It's the center of the reckoner. How come it's the basketball team, the Philadelphia 76ers? Why does their hockey team in Ottawa called the Ottawa 67s? Why are the San Francisco 49ers called the 49ers? Because if you have a 9x9 reckoner and there's 81 cells in it, if you take away the bubble, it's a 7x7 inside. Maybe that's your 49. Maybe it's the 7-7 in the egg, 49. Why aren't there any other numbered teams? Why in football is a touchdown 6 points? The extra point is either a 1 or a 3. Well, it's a field goal for 3 or an extra point for 1 for your 13. But with your 6, you either get a 7. How come if you take 3 of those and you stack them, you make a hockey rink? A soccer pitch or a football pitch? I don't know, whatever. A baseball diamond? Made a lot of gags about your vision and eyes and seeing the truth, seeing the 3858, seeing the 1 to 1 to 7 to 13 to 110 21 43, seeing everything in the reckoner, because it is a theory of everything. It is creation code broken down. It's incredibly humbling. Other people should know this. So, you know, those two guys around Joe Rogan in 1510 there, the movie maker guys and the extraterrestrial guys and the need to find the way to do propulsion. Maybe look at the math. Maybe instead of applying this to propulsion devices on theoretical craft, let's just try to make a stationary device that's like a blueprint. You know, they have the blueprint in the Secret Society, the picture of the Freemason. Okay, the reason they have a black and white tiled floor is that they need a lab or a grid. And they need to be able to measure said lab and grid so that they know where to put things in relationship to each other while they're active. So that picture had 5 devices on a floor and all this artwork that is just what I say time and time again about what this is. The Great Depression, man, 19,290 magnets. Maybe 91, I don't know. But, it's a giant swastika. Add up the numbers and make a swastika. Tell me that's a bad symbol. It is a reminder about the possibility of cellular energy. Because my argument from ignorance remains that until we actually test this, it cannot be verified or been deemed truth until it is proven false. And right now I just keep on adding to my argument from ignorance. And no one has proven any of that false. So, you know, Plato, Socrates me, man. Hemlock Island me. Hemlock poisoned me. I don't give a shit. He got besmirched for influencing the youth, and they killed him. Go read the apology. I'm sorry for all of this and talking and stuff, but it must be done. Someone has to do it. This is stupid. This is literally stupid. I always think of the Zoolander clip. I feel like I'm on crazy pills. Does anyone see this? It's literally a joke to me now. So, I don't know, man. It's up to you guys. It's all up to you guys. You cannot self-promote for this. All I can do is put it on YouTube. That's all I can do. It feels wrong to push this on people. It really does. So, yeah. Drake's equation, man. You gotta watch the whole video. There's a lot at the end where I'm not talking. Like halfway through, before I even fill in the second 13 beside the X over the L, before I even do that, the equation's solved. Because the 14.5 is the NE and I already have the L and the 1/3 V. So anything after that is pretty redundant, but there's a lot said from the JRE, and like, it was my first try at it. I've watched that video twice now, and I could redefine that so much faster and so much better, and hopefully you are able to sit there and yell at the screen going, hey, yeah, look at there, and the other thing, before it's even said or pop up on screen and stuff like that. You know, that was my first shot at the first kick at the can. But do I want to stay on this subject? Absolutely not. Look, I found another one. It's like Euler's. Oh, that was a long time ago. I don't remember that. So that's why I make videos, because there's a lot of little eurekas. But as a way to simulate scientific dialogue at the first scientific meeting on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, you are the extraterrestrial. In this equation, I am in search of your intelligence. Can you not see this? Or do you think I am on crazy pills? Math don't lie, guy. Numbers don't lie. If you document your assumptions, you know, keep track of a frame of reference and units and whatnot, you can't go wrong. So, I don't know. Not getting very much feedback here, guys. The equation summarizes the main concepts which scientists, meaning you, must contemplate when considering the question of other radio communicative life. What do you think this is? Are you living your life right now? Hello? Radio communicative, what the hell? Life? It doesn't like me now. There you go. Likes my armpit. The equation summarizes the main concepts which scientists must contemplate when considering the question of other radio communicative life. Hi. Maybe I'm the alien. Showing you the alien. In the numbers. There's no aliens, guy. Light can bend, sure. There are things we can't explain. Agreed. But before we go to the 25,000th step, let's look at step 1. Let's all get this wrapped around our pinky. I was even... anyway. What is an L? A Roman numeral L. All it is a V with a 1/2 at the end. Think about it. The L that I was drawing in the last video is a 1/4 with a 1/2. Of course, it's 42. Kinda needs to be there. Like, I couldn't believe how perfect F capital P, where it is, where it, F subset I, F subset C, F subset F, L, N subset E. Wow, guy, all those numbers are right there, and they're all in line with each other, and they're in a snowflake pattern that is created via 101, a 7, a 13, a maybe 110, 21, 43 pattern. A lot of 666s on there. I live in 666 3-point land. I live in the Golden Triangle, in fact. Apparently. Catch my wave? the wave of Ra. Maybe the wave of Ra 7. It's too synchronistic. It's kind of weird. It's fine. Whatever. It's unsuspected. That's very this is the last time I'm talking about Drake's equation, okay? Like, for a while. I don't see the point. Well. Other than I applied my knowledge of my, like, 666 kind of sniffer. Found something else. With this schnoz, I sniff it all, guys, so nothing can hide. I gotta do stuff today. So, yeah, go watch my contact video. I'll put it in the description.